How you guys doing, man? I usually get the toughest crowds. It's either I stand between them and their lunch, or in this case, I get you guys after lunch, so I don't know who's going to go in a food coma. But good day, everyone. Welcome. My name is Cheong, and I'm the Senior Client Partner for the Southern APAC region, where I focus on managing the developer relations for Unity's suite of monetization services, which is ads, analytics, and in-app purchases. So some of you might have heard me talk about personalized placements during the last Unite. That was more on the monetization side of things. But for this year, I decided to do something different. And I'm going to be talking about user acquisition. Also because I think it's a greater challenge for the industry at this period of time. So today, I'm going to talk about how you can get the right player on Unity using our Acquire dashboard and our audience PinPointer tool. 2.1 million and 1.8 million. These are the numbers that you have to beat on the stores right now to get your game noticed. Acquiring the right player has never been harder. And with players being spoiled for choice and having short attention spans, playing like on average 4 games a month, and with fewer than 15% of your games actually managing to retain 35% of their players after D1, organic, unfortunately, is no longer enough. Paid user acquisition is no longer a maybe, but it's a reality right now. And finding the right partner to give you that scale, that affordability, and the quality is another challenge on its own. And your parents would typically tell you there is no such thing in this world. Luckily, we're not your parents. And so that's what Unity is here for. To help our community solve those hard problems, just like how you guys stuck with us during our difficult first days. Ensuring the success of our creators because we wouldn't exist without you. And we believe that the world is a much better place that way as well. And I mean, take a look at all the cool technology that we have in the world right now. And I leave you to be the judge at the end of this session, but I think we've done a pretty good job. So 45% of the top 1,000 mobile games are powered by Unity, 50% for all new mobile games, and for all AR and VR content, 60% of it right now is actually made with Unity as well. Reaching 1.7 billion devices, which is about 600 million players, serving out almost 10.5 billion impressions per month. I still remember when I first started, we only served like 1 million. And it's been a crazy 4 years for me. Spending about a total of 8.8 billion minutes actually being spent in Unity apps each day. And it's been an honor. We actually made it to the top charts. So with Singular, one of the industry's top go-to marketing sources, actually putting us just shy of the big boys in 2019, which is today. So we are third for Android, behind Facebook and Google, and fourth for iOS. Well, of course, Apple has to be third at least. So how do we get there? Actually, it's very simple. We just listened, and that's what Unity always does. We listen to what the community has to say, and then we build our tools accordingly after that. So right now, for user acquisition, we offer a variety of campaigns to address your needs, whether it's on scale, whether it's on retention, or maximizing the revenue return from a player. And in some cases, you can get the best of both worlds, so we can do actually scale plus retention, or scale and a return on ad spend. I'll talk a little bit more about what ROAS is shortly. And of course, you can't just listen, you have to do some upgrades as well. Not by magic, but by technology. And so we created what you see right here, right now, is our Selfserve Acquire dashboard. And this is how it looks like today. What we did, we made the workflows much easier, much smarter. We did a bunch of features that allow you to do bulk edits. And also, it's much easier to look at and track certain things that you want within the dashboard itself. We also expanded our targeting capabilities. So we allow advertisers to whitelist and blacklist apps that serve undesirable content on a self-serve level, so you don't have to reach out to me anymore. You can do it yourself. And we also offer device, screen size, screen density, and network optimization. So network optimization allows you to choose between the different carriers that you want, or whether you want a Wi-Fi connection or anything like that. Providing a wide range of creative formats as well. So our video and end cards can either be portrait or they can be horizontal. And based upon the device orientation at any given point of time on the player's device, we would serve out the right format so that the player gets the best user experience possible. And also not missing out, we serve the hottest format in the market right now, playable ads as well. And one does not simply forget that you can do A/B testing on our platform as well. So you can A/B test all your different videos, your different end cards, and see which one actually works the best for you. And it's not you alone, but internally, we conduct our own A/B tests as well. So whether it's something like testing out a holiday end card, or whether it's something trivial, just like, I don't know, making an end card turn dark, or just making sure the creative looks right for devices that have special kind of end card specification. So for example, in the case of an iPhone X, they have very interesting borders in terms of the way you can serve the end card. So for a period of time, what we figured out was that a lot of our normal end cards were actually getting cut out, so we had to test it internally, and then after that, make the changes so that developers don't suffer after that. So we do our own A/B testing as well, so that we can help you find that sweet spot on top of the A/B testing that you are also doing. All right, guys. So does this sound cool? Did I impress? Or is it just more headache? Are you guys with all the kind of targeting options that we give right now, the kind of reporting and everything, doesn't it make you guys feel like you're at a loss of where to start? Don't you feel more overwhelmed with all those targeting parameters and also of all the creative possibilities and all those multi-dimensional reporting? Doesn't it make it worse? I don't know. To me, it feels like there's 14 million and 65 alternate futures, just like what Dr. Strange said. So now, let's just imagine, right, that you did get it all figured out. Phew. So you take all that information and you apply the same CPI bit across all your users for a specific set of targeting parameters that you are happy with. So for example, you only want Germany people with an OS of 4.4 and a DPI of 85. I don't know, I made up DPI. And anyway, and then after that, you would imagine you trying to do all the number crunching after that. And it actually gets better. Imagine if you weren't placing the same bit across all the users, but you're placing a different bit across different groups of users. Can you imagine the permutations and combinations that you guys will actually have to figure out? I can't imagine, man. And to be honest, you can't handle the algorithms anyway. It's just too much. And so that is what led us to create the audience pinpointer, the brain. And so what is the audience pinpointer? Well, in the world that we live in right now, you must have some kind of machine learning and agent fitted in to be, to sound cool as well. So it's our machine learning powered solution that helps you find the players most likely to have a specific value beyond the app install. And so what we've done is that we're actually helping developers or publishers find that right player in the easiest and most cost-effective way at scale. Not by placing the same bits, or not by placing different bits, not placing the same different bits across a group of audiences, but you're going to be placing a bit on a user level to a cohort of one. So it's very, very, very personalized. And paying only the absolute right price for that right quality that the user will provide. And so using dynamic CPIs, you'll be able to optimize based upon two options. One, you're either optimizing for retention, or a day 7 retention, or a day 7 return on ad spend, also known as ROAS. And what ROAS is that you're just basically considering how much revenue you're going to make from that player during a specific point of time, minus the cost of actually acquiring them. I hope I still catch you guys, because we're going to get really, really technical. Wow. All right, so let's dive deeper to see how it works. And so what I'm looking right now is for retention. So how do you interpret this graph? The x-axis is the day 7 retention. So this, to just elaborate, this is what Unity does on the back end. So this is your day 7 retention. And then this, well, ignore this. Look at this. So all the little dots that you see are actually your groups of users. And so what we're doing right here is that you're doing a comparison of the users against their D7 retention. And as I mentioned earlier, you guys remember I told you about dynamic CPI. So in this case, the dynamic CPI is $8. And which means, and for our dynamic CPI, you can only go up to 4x plus or minus. So in this case, the developer placed a CPI of $8. The lowest you can go is $5. The highest you can go is $15. And so what the system does is that with the dynamic CPI, we only pay the right price for the right user at the right quality. And so what you're seeing right here is that for players with D7 retention of 15%, we will only pay $5 for them, which is way below your $8 anyway. And for those that are predicted with a D7 retention of 45%, we will pay for $15 for them. So, and for us, what we've discovered so far right now is that the results have been very promising. So with our top 10 apps that are currently with us, we saw a 165% increase in the D7 retention rate. And in terms of ROAS, or the return on ad spend, we saw a 15% increase. Now your question is, I optimized for retention, but why did I get ROAS? And retention and ROAS are actually correlated to one another, because the longer the player is within your game, the higher chance of him doing an IAP purchase, or he's just going to watch more ads within the game itself, so that gets you ad revenue as well. So that's the optimization that's how we do it for retention. Now what about ROAS? How does it work on the back end? Actually works pretty much the same. Now the only difference between ROAS and retention is that for ROAS, you will be able to set a percentage of how much you would like the platform to achieve. So for example, you can say, all right, I want the platform to try and help me achieve a return on ad spend that is of 25%. And the system will then try to optimize for that 25% after that. So where do you find all these figures? All these figures usually come from campaigns that you have run before, and that would more or less give you a kind of a benchmark about where you would like to hit. I would say somewhere between a 10 to 15% ROAS is always a good start. And so using a myriad of factors and D7 retention, we will then predict the revenue generated by each user post-install after that. Same thing. For ROAS, for the top 10 apps, we saw a 77% increase in D7 return on ad spend, which is great. Now, and we saw an 82% increase in day 7 depositors. So what's a depositor? Well, it's basically just someone who decides to do an IAP purchase. So they saw an increase in the number of players who actually wanted to do an IAP purchase. Yep. So, because I don't have enough time, and the purpose of my session today really is just to keep the industry updated about the kind of user acquisition tools that we have in the market. For us, we usually like to work on a more one-to-one, yes, thank you, I know that, for more one-to-one basis. So, yeah, so if whatever you're seeing right now is not in-depth, but after that we will be, when I talk to you moving forward, it'll be very, very much more in-depth. So, how to get started? Oops, yeah. So I'm just going to briefly go through to give you a quick sense. So for the acquire dashboard that we have, where you create a normal campaign, what you do is you create a Unity ID. You would activate an insertion order. So insertion order is just like a purchase order. You can either prepay, or you can sign an agreement with us, and then we work on a post-invoicing credit after that. You would set up the campaign, and then you would have to work with one of our, well, these are not the only guys, but you need to have an attribution tracking link that basically, when you have that link, it tells us that an install has been made from one of these guys after that. We support a lot of them, but these are some of the more prominent major ones that I just wanted to highlight. Kochava, AppsFire, my friend talked about ad fraud earlier today. And then you have Adjust, Tune, and of course, Singular. All right. Now, for audience PinPointer. So audience PinPointer is just one extra step. So you would have to pass the session and purchase value data that you have from your attribution partner. We verify the data integrity, and then after that, you can set the campaign live. And to avoid FOMO, we have post credits as well. Notanos will not be joining our platform and lending us his Infinity Gauntlet for optimization, but I can tell you what's on the horizon. So we are working on retargeting, which just basically means we're finding new ways for you to reach your audiences. So for example, if they watch an ad and you wanted to retarget them with a call to action message after that, that is possible moving forward. And we also have an audience extension project where we're integrating with different advertising partners in the ecosystem to allow you to reach audiences that are outside of the Unity ecosystem. So with that, I come to the end of my session. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. Shortly, I will be loitering around the alleys or something like that. Or you could also send me an email together with my colleague, Janice, over here. Send us an email, and we'll be more than happy to help you with it. If not, thank you and enjoy the rest of the Unite.